Association here in Canada, I respectfully acknowledge that I am standing today on the traditional territories of many diverse Indigenous nations. I honor the sacred land and the Indigenous heritage here. So before we get started, we would like to begin with an opening prayer, followed by a moment of silence for all those who have lost their lives due to COVID-19. So I'm going to give a brief introduction of the musician who will be doing the opening prayers. Sangeeta Kogalin is a co-founder of Swara Sahitya Music Academy. She is a renowned Carnatic vocal singer here in Canada. Her passion in fine arts and expertise includes Carnatic violin, Veena, and Bharatanatyam. She has performed in many concerts and Natya Arangetrams in Sri Lanka and Canada. She now successfully trains many young students in Carnatic music. Please graciously welcome Srimati Sangeeta Kogalin to do the opening prayers.
சாந்தி நிலவ வேண்டும், எங்கும் சாந்தி நிலவ வேண்டும், உலகிலே சாந்தி நிலவ வேண்டும், ஆத்ம சக்தியோங்க வேண்டும், உலகிலே சாந்தி நிலவ வேண்டும், ஆத்ம சக்தியோங்க வேண்டும், உலகிலே சாந்தி நிலவ வேண்டும். காந்தி மகாத்மா கட்டளை அதுவே, காந்தி மகாத்மா கட்டளை அதுவே, கருணை ஒற்றுமை கதிரொளி பரவி சாந்தி நிலவ வேண்டும், கொடுமை செய்தியோர் மனமது திருந்த நற்குணமதை புகட்டிடுவோம், கொடுமை செய்தியோர் மனமது திருந்த நற்குணமதை புகட்டிடுவோம், மடமையச்சம் மறுப்போம், மக்களின் மாசில்லா நல்லொழுக்கம் வளர்ப்போம், திடம் தரும் அகிம்சா யோகினம் தந்தை, திடம் தரும் அகிம்சா தோக்த
Thank you. So please join me in a moment of silence for all those who have lost their lives due to COVID-19 pandemic worldwide. Thank you. We appreciate during these trying times that you are here with us virtually, and I take great pleasure in being your host today for today's seminar. My name is Mayuran Jayamohan. My journey began with Kriya Hatha Yoga at a very young age, and I furthered my passion in PG in yoga at Annamalai University. In my exploration of yoga, I came to enjoy the traditional forms of yoga, meditation, and spirituality. I currently live in Toronto, Canada, where I serve my clients through yoga classes and marma therapy. Through my organization, Agata Sciences, I strive to make yoga and spirituality accessible to my generation of young adults. Now, coming to the main event and the introduction of the main event, recognizing this important role of yoga, this year's United Nations commemoration of International Day of Yoga focuses on yoga for well-being. How to practice yoga can promote the holistic health of each and every individual. Every year, the Northern Hemisphere of the summer solstice falls on June 21st. It is the day when the daytime is the longest and the nighttime is the shortest. From the perspective of yoga, the summer solstice also marks the transition of the sun from Uttarayana to Dakshinayana in the celestial sphere. The knowledge of yoga first descended from Lord Shiva on this day. The reason why several yoga teachers, along with the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, advocated for celebrating June 21st as the International Day of Yoga. The UN draft resolution establishing the International Day of Yoga was proposed by India and endorsed by 175 member states. The proposal was first introduced by the Indian Prime Minister in his address to the opening of the 69th General Assembly, in which he said, "Yoga is an invaluable gift from our ancient tradition. Yoga embodies the unity of the mind and body, thought and action. Yoga is just not about exercise. It is a way to discover the sense of oneness within yourself, the world, and the nature." Now, I would like to introduce Subhanki Siva to do the welcome speech. Subhanki Siva is the founder of Subhanki Siva Yoga and is a certified yoga instructor, yoga therapy practitioner, wellness coach, and social activist. Her passion for yoga and meditation began at an early age at her time in Sri Lanka and has since grown into a movement that encourages positive action, community engagement, and mindfulness. She believes yoga can be a tool for positive change and personal empowerment. Through her inclusive approach, she has the privilege of working with children, senior citizens, and people with disabilities, as well as having taught yoga in the West Island Association for Intellectually Handicapped and the West Island Women's Center. She is a project coordinator for the Tamil Elders Association of Quebec and is the international coordinator for the International United Women Federation, which is currently running a series of workshops to end the violence against women and children in collaboration with the Alliance of Community Project. The project is a UN accredited nonprofit organization. For more information, please be sure to visit her website at www.subhankisiva.org. subankisiva.com. Now, please give me a welcome Subanki Siva to do the welcome speech.
Thank you, Myron. Can you please put me on spotlight, please? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome all of you. Thank you so much for being here. I know we have a different time zones, people from all over the world, and I truly appreciate that. Thank you to each and everyone for being with us here today. It's my pleasure to welcome everyone to this special event. The International Day of Yoga, celebrated on the 21st of June, to globally raise awareness about the benefit of the ancient practice. The aim of this day is to educate people about the physical, mental, and spiritual benefit that can be derived by practicing yoga. It has been over a year now that we are going through this unprecedented global pandemic. The need for physical, mental, and spiritual well-beings are stronger now more than ever before. In this regard, our theme for this event is the importance of yoga during COVID-19. I'm so pleased to welcome all of you, a special guest who are here to take part of this initiative to make this event a special occasion. Firstly, I would like to extend my special welcome to Dr. Raju Ramanathan. He is my spiritual guru who guides me every step of the way. He is always approachable and always guides me by giving me the right advice whenever I need. And those of who knows Rajuji knows his loving, always caring, his pleasant nature, the egoless, childlike mind who always lived in the present moment. And he is a true yogi and a true guru. Today, he will be sharing a unique aspect of yoga, Yoga Sangita. I just can't wait for his talk. Now, I would like to welcome another one of our eminent speakers from Sri Lanka, Sri Vyasa Kalyanasundaram. Welcome. Without him, we could have not formed and shaped this event. It's all started from one fine day. Master Vyasa texted me saying that, do you know about International Yoga Day? And the rest is history. Here we are today, celebrating the International Yoga Day with all of you and with him. Thank you again for sowing the seed and giving me the continuous support. And also would like to extend my warm welcome to Dr. Jayanti and Dr. Mrityunjay. They both are doing an extraordinary contribution to our yoga community. Recently, I had the privilege to participate Dr. Jayanti's world record attempt 24 hours continuous yoga therapy lecture marathon. It was truly extraordinary. Dr. Mrityunjay is a true karma yogi, and his service of offering anatomy courses to yoga teachers free of charge around the globe is truly remarkable. We are truly honored to have both of you in this celebration. I just can't wait to hear both of you talk. It's a very relevant and important for today's global situation. Last but not the least, I would like to welcome the representative of High Commission of India, and also would like to thank Mr. Guru Subramaniam, the First Secretary, High Commission of India, for accepting our invitation and supporting our program. Now, without further ado, I would like to hand over to our wonderful host, Mayur and Jaya Mohan. One last reminder, all of you have your pen and paper ready for take notes, and I'm sure you have lots of great points to take note, and also have your mat ready for a little practice with Christina. And once again, thank you and welcome all of you for this event. We can express how thrilled we are to have you today. Thank you and welcome.
Thank you, Subanki. Before we commence the sessions, a pointer for the audience. We kindly ask that you keep your mic muted at all times and video on as a mark of respect. Question and answers will be communicated via email. We strive to make this seminar enjoyable and information available to all. Thank you. So now we'll commence with our first speaker, Sri Vyasa Kalyanasundaram. He is a chief yoga instructor and therapist at Ashtanga Yoga Mandir of Sri Lanka, the Swami Vivekananda Cultural Center with the High Commission of India, Colombo. He is also the Secretary of Asian Yoga Therapy of Singapore. Mr. Kalyanasundaram is an expert in self-management of excessive tension techniques and stop diabetes programs. He has a vast experience in the field of emotional and physical well-being, child psychology, play therapy, and yoga education. He is also an expert in special needs yoga for both special needs of children and adults. His classes cover a range of topics such as the healing aspects of homeopathy, lifestyle management, and kitchen chemistry to focus on the fruits and herbs that are good for overall health, particularly for our immune system. I also want to introduce Nilushi Bandara, who will be joining with Sri Kalyanasundaram. She also has completed her yoga. She's a member of the Yoga Institute of Ashtanga Yoga Mandir, Sri Lanka. She'll be joining us for the demonstration. So please, with that being said, I would like to welcome Sri Vyasa Kalyanasundaram and Nilushi Bandara.
Mayuran, can you please put both of them on spotlight?
Greetings to all of you, and good evening, good morning to all of you. It is indeed a great pleasure and privilege of myself of being in this program for the moment. And my warmest regards to Srimati Sangeeta Gokulan, who sang in a most beautiful manner. The theme was, let peace prevail everywhere and let the inner potentiality of an individual grow within yourself, was the basic theme of us. And also it is indeed an honor of me to see the host Mayuran J. Mohan, yoga person and the founder of the Aganda Sciences, and also the eminent speakers of today, Christina Theophilos and Dr. Mrityunjay Rahotra, Dr. C.B. Jayanti and Dr. Raju Ramanathan. Good evening, sir. It's nice and privileged to see you once again. And also my humble thanking to Ms. Shubhangi Shiva for organizing this wonderful event. She is a very enthusiastic person in ensuring that she organizes these programs in a very perfect and in such a meticulous way. So my special thanks to Shubhangi and her team for organizing this program. So the topic of today is about the yogic health assessment. So most of you will be knowing what does yoga means. Yoga, as all of you know, is not just a general word like a horse, like a home, like a general word it has never derived. Yoga is basically a word that which derived from the Sanskrit root, which is called as the Bija Aksharas. As I'm starting the program, I'm just giving you the basic outline, although all of you are aware about it. So you will see that the word yoga is derived from the most powerful 4 Bija Aksharas, which is called as the Yang, Ang, and Aha. These 4 Bija Aksharas, when it comes together, that derives the word of yoga. There is also another science of yoga, which it derives from Yam, and Gam. It is just like based on the elevation level of a person, how the Bija Aksharas in the chakras may differ. Same way, these 2 Bija Aksharas, the set of these 2 Bijams, when it comes together, it gives the meaning of yoga. So that whole process is what is called as Bija, Shankala, Nath, and the first word, the Yam, which is the root word or the Yang, which emphasize the word of prana, that which moves. So yoga basically focus on the elevation, evolution, and expansion of the concept of yoga within an individual. At the same time, you also will be knowing that the word yoga has several meanings. I'm not talking about the definitions by the great eminent personalities, but basically what does the yoga means? Based on the principal function of the word, the principal function of the yoga has basically 12 principles or 12 concepts. And I'll just explain one of that, which was explained in a very eminent dictionary called the Amarakosha, where it speaks about yoga means sannatha, upaya, sankati, yuktishu, samskara, and dhyana. So what does the word sankati means? Here, when sankati means when people come together or when things comes together, it is called as sankati. So when you go into the practice of yoga, you will see that your body and your prana comes together. It is yoga. Then sometimes you will go to the next layer where your body, your mind, the prana joins together. And if you see in the other layers, where when you go into the practice, you will see that from the body, you start working with the dasa pranas. Sometimes you will start seeing that you are starting working with the mahapranas. So whether it is the mahaprana of the 5 or the dasa prana of the 10, when you start working and when you're analyzing, you know, yes, I am in the process of working and that I have a control and an influence with the mahapranas. Then comes the next stage of the advanced stages of the practice is where you see your body and the mind and the soul, you are able to feel that inner joy, that inner happiness. So that is what means the body, the mind, the prana, the soul starts merging. There you feel an unwritten or an unknown experience of satisfaction and silence. And then comes the final stage where the mind, the body, the individual soul tries to go to a complete divine soul or the consciousness where the person goes and merges into a complete silence. This comes as one of the definition by the practice of the word sankati. Same way, you also have something which is called as samskaras. What is a samskara? Basically, you will see that now we are all prepared for this program. So now we are all here as yoga personalities. And after the session finishes, you will be going back to a different role as a mother, as a wife, as a daughter, as a husband, as a father, as a student. Then after that, you will be going for your work. So you will see as an individual that you have that multiple roles to ensure that every role, what you do, that you are able to ensure that shift of role. As a total person, yoga gives you that alignment. Whereas you are able to know when you are with your parents, you are the daughter. When you are with your husband, you are the wife. When you are with your brothers, you are the sister. When you are at office, you are the administrator. How do you come into the difference? Some people, they know it is an automatic process, but it is a process. When you are able to go and experience that, you will see that you will be able to do that process perfectly. With this basic understanding, I'll go into the practice of what yogic health assessment means. So when we go on talking about the yogic health assessment, you will know when a student starts the practice of yoga, you need to know whether this person can start the practice with the supine postures or the prone postures or the stationary asanas or the standing asanas, or whether this person should start with dhyana or this person should start with relaxation, or whether this person should start with pranayama. that knowledge is what basically is decided by yogic health assessment. For example, in our scriptures, it is said that if you are going to start with Uttanani Asanani, Uttanani means the supine postures, or whether you are going to go into the Namsanani, that is whether you want to start with the prone asana, or whether you want to go into the stationary asana, which is called as Tanasananani, or whether you want to go into the standing asanas, where you start your practices with the standing asana, Uttanasanani. So Uttanasanani means the standing asana. And also Rajvasajanani, that is where you do with the support of the rope. And then you also have a basic practices where you start working with the sun and the moon energy, which is called as the Surya Chandra Vedanani Asanani. So here you will see that experience what that individual should take is explained in detail. So when a person comes to the yoga class, it's not that you just start with the standing asana or the seated asana or with the pranayama. On what basis do you decide that is what the yogic assessment speaks about. So yoga is a science. So that is why it is called as it is an experimental science and it's an experiential science. Just like how you will see that in different practices, you will see that the process, whatever the inner practices, whatever you do, it has to be ensured that it gives a transformation within yourself. And if it doesn't give the transformation, if it does not give the experiences of the transfer of the inner self, it does not come under the category of yoga. For example, you will see that there are 2 books of revelations in Judaism, which speaks about experiences science. Same way, you will see that in yoga also, you have various practices which gives you the experience, it gives the experiment and the connectivity of that. So now we will go into the few practices of some of the techniques which may be very useful to you and sometimes which you may be familiar with. So with me, we have Nilushi Bandara, one of our yoga instructors attached to the Ashtanga Yoga Mandir, Sri Lanka. So here, I will just give you a brief because my duration is 25 minutes and I think, Mayuran, how long do I have? So I can just ensure that I don't take others' time.
You have about another 20 minutes. Your total allotment is 30 minutes. So
20 minutes is there, huh?
20 minutes is there.
I will ensure to finish it before that. So the first is you need to know how is your spine. We need to know whether the spine is perfect, whether there is some problem in the spine. How do you understand this practice? So those who are all comfortable, if your facility is there, just lie down. You can see how Nilushi is doing the practice. So you will first lie down and just observe the feet. You keep the feet and the toes together. Understood? So you will see both the big toes are kept together and then you keep your hands apart. And so when you are keeping your hands apart and when you are keeping the feet and the toes together, you will see that you should wait in this position for nearly 5 minutes. When you are being in this position for 5 minutes, how many times you are having the urge for the feet to separate, that is the connected big toes, how many times it has that urge to separate, you need to observe. So in 5 minutes, if you have multiple times, based on that count of how many times you have that urge to separate, you will know in which location of the body the spine needs relaxing. The spine needs the practice. Why? Sometimes, we do the Shavasana and people find it so difficult to be, whether it is IRT, DRT or QRT, quick relaxation technique or instant relaxation technique, or even in Yoga Nidra, or even in the meditation, when they want to sit, they love to sit, but they cannot sit because there is an energy sequences which is functioning in a different manner. This technique, which you all can try later, gives you that understanding whether you should start with the standing, lying down, or supine posture. Next comes the second technique, and the second technique is you need to know whenever you are coming up, you need to turn yourself and then only come to the seated position. You should never just come up and come to the seated position. So the next asana which we are going to do is called as the Gomukha Asana. This is also a technique which is to understand your spine capacity. So you will see, so this practice, even while though you are seated on the chair, you can just do it. So you'll just come a little bit out of the chair. And first practice is you just bring your hands behind. Okay. And the second technique, you just bring the hands behind, and then you just have to get it measured, which in Ashtanga Yoga Mandir, when students enroll for their classes, we do the measurement. So here, how do you measure is right now you will see the whole measuring process will be now also demonstrated to you so that it becomes easier for you. And we have with us Nilushi's sister is there. She will just guide you to just show you how it is. So basically, you need to know how to measure it. So if you take your palm, if you keep it now, you have your collarbone where the collarbone starts. So if you keep your collarbone where it starts, generally it will end at your middle finger. So you keep it like this. So you know where the collarbone is. And when you keep your thumb like this, if you take your thumb, understand, and place it, that is the middle point of your collarbone. So you keep your palms together, you place it on your over the collarbone, and then where the thumb ends, that is where is the middle point of your collarbone. So yes, which you can see it clearly. Now what you do is from the middle point, you take the tape, you keep it, and then you bring the other hand behind. So Nilushi, can you just turn a little bit just to show how the hand and yes. Now, so you bring the other hand behind as much as possible, and the distance between the middle bone, collarbone, to the middle finger. So when you measure it like this, so this you will see the measurement is like this. Same way, you will do it on the other side. So now you will see, you will just turn yourself, and the same process, you will do it in the other side. So you will take the palm, place it on your bone, identify the exact middle point of your collarbone, and from there, you take your other hand back, and you take the middle point of the collarbone and of the middle point of the middle finger. When you measure it, you will have to see whether the measurement is equal or not. If the measurement is not equal, then you will know what is the position of the neck region. So this is the one technique. So from this, we try to understand the neck conditions of theirs. Now we go into the second assessment, the third technique, but second assessment of the Gomukhasana, where you bring your one hand behind and you bring the other hand from down and you try to hold it. So here you should not put that extra effort. Now in her case, if you see, when she holds the right hand, she's comfortably able to hold it like this. So I'll just be like that, Nilushi. So it's basically right, yeah. So if you nicely see, her middle finger is able to touch the other layers. Okay, now this is her right side. Now she will do it on the left side. Now, when she does the left side, you will see that her fingers are not able to touch. The difference between the middle finger and that rekha, which is down there, when you measure it, you will know that is the alignment which needs to be looked into. So I think it should be about 1.5 inches. So in the one hand, it was equal, perfect. But when it comes into the other hand, there's a one. And so you will see when it comes into spine, and especially when you are working with this energy, when you are working with the prana and everything, it is very important that you need to ensure that your whole alignment is perfect. When the alignment is perfect only, asanas becomes perfect and the prana is able to slowly go in its proper manner. Same way, like how we did this Shavasana, this Gomukhasana, two techniques, you will also see in the seated position where we use the asana, which is called as the Baddha Konasana. So this is Baddha Konasana. Because of her continuous practices, now it will be very difficult to measure, but still we will measure and show you so that you can do it. So in Baddha Konasana, so you will know when you call this asana, there is also another asana which is called as the Parvati asana and the Gorakshanatha asana, all come similar to this, but there is a small similar differences are there that you will learn from the Hatha Yoga session. So here what happens, from the knee, below knee to the floor, you need to find out the distance. So Nilushi, can you just raise your knees up a little bit so that it will be easier for the, yeah. So just imagine one person's knee is like this, then you measure it on this side. Same way you measure it on the other side. This will give you a complete understanding of the hip region of how. So that is why when you go to do the Sisubalasana or when you're doing the Bhadrasana, like the butterfly postures and everything, you will get to know. So when you measure these both aspects, you will have a clear picture of knowing where your hip stands. So this gives you the third technique, and we go into the next technique where it comes into the standing practices. We go into the standing practices. So the standing practices, this technique, which is generally called as, the technique is called as the Dhruva Chandra Asana. So if any of you all are doing, you are welcome to do it. Huh? So when you start doing it only, you will be able to get the doubt, because this is special programs which the Subhangi schools have organized. So here what happens when you, so you need to know that the Chandrasana, there are various types of Chandrasanas. For example, Ardha Chandra Chaposasana, Chandrasana, Dhruva Chandrasana, Ardha Chandra Kala Asana, Chandra Kalasana, Chandra Namaskara-asana. Like that, there are variations also, but everything comes a little bit similar. So now what you will do is you will bend your right leg, place it perfectly in the inner thigh, and bring interlock your hands and keep it over, and then you will turn to the side base. You will turn to the right side and you will come to a comfortable way. And what you will do is your elbow to the upper thigh, you will measure it. So you will measure that. Okay. And then come back to the center, bring the leg down. Nilush, if you can just come a little bit forward so that they will be able to see. Right. Now you do the same practices on the other side. So here, basically, when you start doing now, in this case, see, she's able to be comfortable to touch. But on the other side, there is a gap. So when you are able to understand, you will know the middle spine pressure, which has an impact on you. So when you are doing certain asanas, halasana, lingasana, garudasana, sometimes you are even like when you are doing using the spine as the main entity, you will see the spine will not allow you to go deeper because of the pressure, which is there is an imbalance pressure. So this is one of the asanas, Dhruva Chandra Asana, which is used as a yogic health assessment to understand the middle spine of this. Now we go into the balancing. For example, whenever you are going to go into any of the balancing asanas, Ekapadasana or Kakasanas or Mayurasanas, of those natures, how is your balance? Because sometimes when you go into certain balancing asanas, you start hurting yourself, which should not be. How do you assess that? So for that only we do the asana, which is called as the Parivirutta Pavitra Asana. You raise your right leg up, hold it with the left hand. You hold it with the left hand. You take your right hand behind and extend your thumb, and you be in that position. So from there, you extend it and you turn yourself, and then you will see how long you are able to be in that position. So each of these techniques, we just always go into the understanding of doing that for at least about 1 minute. Then same process, you can do it on the other side. So other side, now all of you know how to do it. So you'll just come into that, and then you just take the measurement, and then you just try to see whether you are comfortable in that position for that specific duration. And now comes the next asana, which is called as the Parivirutta Chetaka Asana. So now we are going to do into that practice. So here you will see that you will make yourself first comfortable and ensure like after each of these asanas that you are very comfortable. That is a very important thing. So you will come to the kneeling position. Here you will see the knee pressure, calf muscles pressure. You bring your right leg forward and hold it with your left hand and stretch your other leg back straight as much as possible. So you just take it as, and then you just turn your head back and you be in this position. So this will give you another understanding of the pressure on your calf muscles and outer thigh region. And the final one comes as the Parivrutta Garuda Pada Palakam Asana. So here what happens, you technically cross your leg. You interlock, like how you do for the Gomukha Asana, you bring the leg, cross, keep your one hand up, and then you take your other hand up. So when you come into this position, you will ensure that the palm and the knee is in the straight position. Fine. So same way, you can also do it on the other way around. So you can see, thank you. And so here you can see all these asanas. So whether it is for pranayama, there are 27 techniques. If whether it is for asanas, there are 27 techniques which is involved in that whole process. So it is very important as yoga instructors that you need to have a depth of knowledge of all the yogic health assessments which can be used so that you can evaluate, evolve, and tell the student, yes, this is how. So the process is you can even measure the minutest improvement in the body. So every mandala, that is 48 days of practices, you will see every mandala that when you go on assessing, you will be able to see how effective that your practices are. So with these words, I once again thank all the audience here. I think you would have understood the principles of the yogic health assessment. In Sri Lanka, Ashtanga Yoga Mandir, Sri Lanka works a lot on these bases of first health assessment, whether it is an instructor or whether it's a new person. All these techniques you can do, what has been shown, you can simply do these techniques, do it, and then just try to see where you are in each of the aspects, even in mudras, whether you are going into the mudra shakti practices, there are techniques to show the mudras. With those words, I once again thank Shubhangi Shiva Yoga Studio and Ms. Shubhangi Shiva and all the resource people and all the participants who have joined this program. Thank you very much. 142 people is a beautiful number. And all the people who are watching through the medias, thank you once again, Shubhangi, for your wonderful organizing, and also to our host, Mr. Mayuran J. Mohan, and all the other people. Thank you very much. And my pranams to you on behalf of Ashtanga Yoga Mandir, Sri Lanka. Thank you. Nandri Vanakkam.
Nandri Vyasa and Nilushi for that great assessment techniques, especially with measurements. One never would have known that you can use that type of assessment. So thank you for shedding light on those tools and sharing your resources. We truly appreciate that. Moving on to the rest of the program, please help me welcome a great teacher, Christina Theophilos. Christina Theophilos is a lecturer at several universities and an expert in the field of behavioral psychology. She is a speaker and educational consultant on issues such as bullying prevention and classroom management. Christina has lived in South Korea for 7 years, where she focused her attention on suicide prevention and discrimination, which led to the birth of her organization, The Glory of Education. Christina is a certified yoga therapist and worked alongside Dr. Raju Ramanathan. She also is a great author of 2 books, naming An International Teacher's Aid to Sexual Health Education and Preventing Bullying, a Manual for Teachers on Promoting Global Education Harmony. Without a further ado, please welcome Christina Theophilos.
Okay, hi. Do you hear me? Is it okay?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, you do? Okay, great. Hi guys, my name is Christina. I'm happy to see you. Just a little bit, thank you for the summary. I actually studied yoga in Nasik, and it was one of the best experiences of my life. And out of all my degrees in counseling psychology and whatnot, my best degree was in as a yoga teacher, because I didn't think I would use it to help people, but I ended up helping myself. And I think everybody I ever taught, I always integrated yoga or a bit of meditation into my classroom. And as noted, I really extended my understanding while working with Raju Ramanathan. So hello to some friendly faces. I love you, I miss you, and so on. I met a lot of you in Montreal. So I want to just take the attention off of me and ask you guys. We all know this what's going on now is absolutely crazy, what's going on with COVID. But I don't mean to smile. I'm maybe a little bit nervous. We all know that it's unbelievable what's happening, but we all know also that there's a huge, huge impact on the youth, right? So my homework for you today is to write down right now 3 kids that you would think are being affected by the COVID-19. 3 kids that you're really concerned with, that you think maybe that them and their peers might benefit from having yoga or meditation in the classroom. So please, if you have your notepad out, please write that down. 3 names of kids, so your heart is a bit more focused on them. Let's try. We know how much yoga has probably helped our life, but if we want to even extend that goodness and this gift, this knowledge, who are 3 kids in your life that you really hope could be healed through the science of yoga and meditation? So just please write down their names right now. So we have their thoughts and our prayers and our vibrations going with them. Could be your grandchildren, could be your daughter, your niece, your cousin. I'm going to think of my niece. I don't have children myself. That's why I've always been teaching. I'm going to think of my niece and what she's going through. You know, these kids have been wearing masks all day. We took them away from their social engagements. They had to, we understand. I don't have to repeat it. I think we all know the physical effects it has on their body, the tense muscles, shallow breathing, disturbed sleep, disturbed eating habits. As we know, studies show that these children can have post-traumatic stress disorder due to the effects of COVID right now. So I hope you're finished, those 3 loved ones that you know of, and write their names. And then number 2 is, who is a yoga teacher that you know that could maybe help them or their school? Look how many people are we? We're 148 people online. And I think together we can make ripple effects of goodness and to share this. So what yoga teacher do you know that might be able to volunteer, just like my teachers in Nasik? They were volunteer teachers doing karma yoga, just like my famous teacher, Raju Ramanathan. He hasn't charged a penny for his services that he's given me. And neither do I try not to when I'm teaching yoga as well. So maybe if even you want to, if you know your cousin who's a yoga teacher, maybe you could suggest them go to the schools. And now, how do we approach the schools? This is sometimes hard, sometimes scary. So I'm just going to give you a tip. Write it now, number 3, canva.com, canva.com. Canva, like you're doing a picture. This is such an easy website to design a flyer that they have already beautiful templates on yoga. You put yoga, and then just put the teacher's name, the yoga teacher's name, put the mission, which I could tell you, maybe coming together to heal through yoga and meditation. However, through my experience, as we know, the word yoga sometimes has a spiritual, religious connotation. And if we're dealing with people from different religions, and now in our schools, they're very mixed, especially in North America and Europe, there's very mixed children. So we can't use that word. I don't suggest you saying yoga or meditation. The best word to use is, who's got it? Mindfulness. We want to teach mindfulness. So put that on your flyer, put that on your email. This is what I really want to suggest to the parents. If you're a parent, write the school director, make your own flyer, write your own email. If you need help, please write me, write Subanki. I will freely do it for you. We're in this together, and you need community-wide support and effort at this time. And we're all there for each other. Contact, and then I'll write it for you. I'll do the flyer. I'll write the email. So write these emails to school boards, write the emails to your teachers. Which teachers? You know, we have those students' favorite teachers, perhaps the gym teacher, or maybe that teacher that's maybe a bit more open-minded. Even the math or science teacher understands the stress of what's going on right now on the children and themselves. If you look at the studies right now, teachers are going through burnout, as we can all imagine. Teachers are burning out. Teachers want to quit their jobs during COVID. They're being forced to take the vaccine in some countries beyond perhaps their personal doing. So there's a lot of pressure, right? They can't even hug their students anymore. So there's sadness, there's anger, there's confusion and fear. And to release all this the answer is what we're talking about here, which is amazing. And it's yoga, it's meditation, it's deep breathing, it's coming together. You know, just to tell you, when I wrote this book, Preventing Bullying, took me 8 years to do research on how do we prevent bullying and discrimination and racism going on in the world right now. That's a huge chunk to eat on. But after all my research, you know, and I wrote all these activities that teachers could do in the classroom, building relationships, teach empathy. Okay, all that is great. But at the foundation, if we're stepping in mud, if we're not happy with ourselves, if the bully is unhappy and suffering, his suffering will overflow onto others and he'll be hurting others. So the solution to bullying, the solution to racism, the solution to the stress, again, I'm going to point it back to yoga and meditation or mindfulness, right? So this is the mindful breathing, the mindful stance. So if you guys want to stand up with me, because I've been sitting all day working today, if you want to stand up with me and stretch. Sometimes we think a classroom, could a classroom have enough room? Now we're social distancing, yeah. You know, Sivanki told you to bring your yoga mats, but it's not really a good idea because in a classroom, you could just do stretching. So let's stand up if you're sitting all day, because you might have another hour here. And we could just put your hands on your hips, open your feet, with hips width apart, look that your toes are in a nice straight line, tuck in your tailbone, and you could just tell the students, we all need it for our back, but just do the hula hoop, gentle rotations, and exhale as you go down. You could let the head, let's do 3 to make it a little bit quick. Inhale as you're going up. Exhale as you're going down. Come on, stand up. I know you're jealous of my back being stretched. you need to stretch yours as well. So go quickly the other side. As we know, we should be doing everything slowly, but I have 15 minutes, so I'm just doing a summary here. You can again have the students rotate their wrists. If they're typing all day, they're on their phones all day, they can get, you know, arthritis or carpal tunnel syndrome. So you really want to help them do self-massage, breathe into it. So these are all simple exercises. As well, we could do, you know, the V pose or the tree pose, standing, you know, still in front of their desk, using their chair or their desk as a balance. Even you could take the leg, stretch it up, curving the back, lowering the head. You could take your hand and put it on your heart. Breathing in. Focusing your gaze on a spot in the wall, eye level. You know, students today, you can do the other leg while I'm talking. Students today I was teaching classes, sometimes had a group of 30 who maybe 8 out of the 30 had attention deficit disorder. They cannot concentrate. You have to teach them a lesson. It's very difficult, but these kind of exercises where you're helping the student focus on their gaze, relax the eyes, relax the mouth, focus on their breath, not look everywhere, because then their balance will go everywhere as well. To focus their gaze, and so on. You can put your feet back down, and you can put your hands on your hips, open up, or up in the air, and just these 2 poses, this one especially, increases testosterone in your body by 20 or 30%. So students who have low self-esteem these days, or even adults, you know, just keeping this up, like the V pose, the victory pose, for 2 minutes, though we have to hold it for 2 minutes, will help, you know, improve our well-being. And then you could just tell the students to do motions with their circle. You could just do some rotations backwards, dropping your head, and slowly inhale, lifting it. So these kind of exercises we could do as well. Another one is, everyone's really tense these days. The kids are tense too. So to allow them to explore that, especially teenagers that have a lot of, hormonal imbalances at this time. They have a lot of energy. So tell them to push their hands down, touching the floor, and make all their muscles and body tight, stretching to the floor. And then relaxing completely, curving the fingers, relaxing the face. And then putting a gentle smile on your face. And then we need to add in the positive affirmations, of course, right, for these students, because we could just do this, but we're miserable. And I had this, students be miserable, they don't want to participate. So I wanted to mention this too. As teachers, once you're doing this with the students, you could just continue and stretch while you're there. With your students, have a discussion before doing yoga. Have a discussion about the stresses of COVID. Even before COVID, these kids were stressed, right? So now that's amplified when you think in comparison to our youth. So I think we really have to empathize with what they're going through. So add in the reason for doing mindfulness, show them studies of the effectiveness. And a lot of boys don't want to do yoga. They think, oh no, this is just for girls. No, show them top athletes or sports, men in sports that usually, do yoga and to calm down before a big game. Students need this before their big exams. As you know, in India, some of the students their whole grade 12 or grade 11 is being, put to the side because of COVID. So there's a lot of stress that they're under. So to encourage the teachers to have these positive affirmations while they're doing yoga. What else did I wanted to tell you about? Yeah, and to bring props to school, even online, bring different props, maybe different like lavender spray or these, Tibetan bowls, just to intrigue them and to, change their mind. Let them know that this too shall pass, that they have to hear that, the adults are working on this problem. The best doctors and scientists are working, around the clock for us. So don't worry, it's going to be okay. And going back to the schools, if you don't find a yoga teacher to do it in school, after, contacting the gym teacher, your favorite teacher, the directors, the school boards, you still might get a no for teaching mindfulness. You could show them studies around the world. A lot of schools are doing it to show the impact of, violence. Like even everyone knows Oprah Winfrey. Oprah Winfrey interviewed the most non-violent school in the world, in North America, and they were practicing meditation 2 times a day. So if you need to know any studies of non-violent schools, what they're doing, it's because they are having this kind of practices in there. And lastly, I learned also from Raju and Manoji about creating support groups for teens, because we need to have a sense of community for these children, that they don't feel alone. So perhaps even doing yoga with, cousins or a group of friends online or in person once things loosen up. And to do, wow moments, to write about our wow moments of the day, our gratitude moments of the day. And if they're using social media, to use that together, write about their days of gratitude. Because there's no other way to change our mind. They don't really want to listen to mom and dad. So to have their peer group get involved with them is very, very helpful once they see their peers involved. So speaking of that, on that note, for teachers to identify the alpha male or alpha female of the classroom, someone who's kind of in charge, and ask them personally, would you mind helping me teach this class? If the whole group sees that the alpha male and female are involved, they too will be engaged. It's hard once you don't have a team. They'll be like, that's not cool, that's not great. Everything is strange in the beginning, especially for them. And they hear their parents say, yoga is, again, people thought like holding the mudra. I've had students say, I'm not allowed to hold a mudra. because against my religion. And for me, it was heartbreaking. I'm thinking, this is magical. All the famous people, all the, you understand what I'm saying. So you have to get the alpha male or female on your side if you're about to teach a class of youth. And depending on the age of the children, you have to shorten the meditation time, the engagement time, because their attention span is quite different. It increases as we age as well. So on that note, I wanted to end with Dalai Lama's quote: if every 8-year-old in the world is taught meditation, we will eliminate violence from the world within 1 generation. But that's a great idea, but we have to do that together. We have to, call those people that we mentioned. We have to think about the future generation, that they are suffering in class. I'm telling you, I have kids coming from war-stricken countries, poverty, who've been raped, who've been bullied, and they're in class trying to listen to a teacher. It's impossible. But yoga and meditation, or mindfulness, is the key here. It's a wonderful gift. And so I thank you, and I hope we could spread the word, love, and so on. Namaste. I love you. Have a wonderful weekend. Bye.
Thank you, Christina, for your vibrant energy. It's something that we need at this morning and this evening. Thank you for giving us good tips on how to engage our children, because the children are the future, right? And it's very important how we engage with them and how do we approach them. So very good tips. I'm sure everyone took note, and we'll be using this to approach our children, our students, and building a positive and fun-fulfilled future. So moving on, we want to invite Dr. Mrityunjay Rathore. He's an associate professor of the Department of Anatomy at the All India Institute of Medical Sciences, Raipur, India. He's also a certified yoga teacher. His research interests include anatomy and the anatomical aspects of yoga. He is serving as an editorial member and a reviewer of several international reputed journals. One of his many notable works is his free 48-hour online yoga anatomy training. Yes, free. Giving yoga students a deeper understanding of the anatomical aspects of the human body. With great pleasure, I introduce Dr. Mrityunjay Rathore. Namaskar.
Thank you. First of all, I would like to thank all the participants and all the respected organizers. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, all of you. So it's my pleasure to talk about the today lectures, the effect of yoga, particularly in the meditations. So how the meditations will affect in the brain and the various brain structures. So let's, without delay, we start my topic. I am myself Dr. Mrityunjay Rathore, working as an additional professor in the All India Institute of Medical Science. And I also start teaching in the international community to this yoga anatomy. So as you know that when we are performing the meditations, so which part of the brain are commonly affected by the meditations? If you see that there are different parts of your brain. So my topic, we have some outline, as we talk about the brain structures, especially prefrontal cortex and the different their relations. And we also try to categorize the different styles of meditations and possible neural circuits. And we also try to explain the little bit the clinical relevance. So if you see in the entire brain, there are 3 important areas where when we are performing the meditations, so they will affect. So first is the prefrontal cortex, which includes the lateral and the middle inferior parts. And the limbic systems, the hippocampus is our memory area. Amygdala, it is our emotional area. And the paralimbic system in the form of anterior cingulate cortex and the posterior cortex. So these are the three systems of the brain where we are doing the meditations. They will definitely affect. So it's a very huge topic. We will not touch all the parts. We will touch brief on the prefrontal cortex. So what is the prefrontal cortex? If you see this picture, this is your brain, and in the front or the most anterior part of the brain is called the prefrontal cortex. And these prefrontal cortex, what are their function? All the memory, all the attentions, and your executive functions, they are governed by this prefrontal cortex. And this prefrontal cortex, little bit, we will go more deeper. This prefrontal cortex having a different part. If you see this picture, these pictures show that area is called the supralateral area or the outer part of the brain. And this, when we cut the brain and we separate the brain, if you see that area is called the medial surface, and the most inferior part is called inferior surface. So this is a very important part. Now we talk about this particular when we are performing the meditation. So where their main actions, which part of the brain where it shows the main actions. You can see this picture. This is the lateral part. In the lateral part, this is the two area. One, the dorsal means the part which are present over the posterior side. So this is called the dorsal area. This is called the ventral area. Please remember, when we are performing any meditations, focus, attention, meditations, mindfulness, as the Krishna is, Theophilus, they are telling about that the mindfulness. So while you are doing this mindfulness meditation, so that area, that is called the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex part of the brain, they are activated. So that is the first area. Now, if you see the medial part, this is the two areas there, the dorsomedial prefrontal cortex and the ventromedial prefrontal cortex. So now, when you do the meditations, that particular dorsolateral prefrontal cortex is activated. Now, when your mind is not in the present conditions, that your mind is start wandering. Same here, in the inferior part, this is the two medial which are toward the central axis. So when we are giving some kind of any award and the punishments, so that area, particularly the medial part, when we are feel excitements, when we are feel some kind of happiness, so this medial part is activated, the functional MRI will show, and when the punishments, there will be the lateral part will show the activations. Now, there, one thing is very, very important to you. If you see the social, emotional processing circuits. Now, when the ventromedial prefrontal cortex, while your mind start wandering phase, so they are having a connection with the amygdaloid body, the body of emotions. So these are the different parts, as I told earlier to you, the lateral part, medial part, and the orbitofrontal part of the brain. So this part is very important before we understanding what is the effect of the meditations on the prefrontal cortex. So let us try to understand the first, what is meditations. As everybody know that nowadays the meditations is used to as a tool to train the mind for the thousands of years. So only this is the only tool to train the mind. Apart from that, no any other tools. So there is a diversity of the meditations in our India's they brought. Somebody they talk about the sometimes there are a lot of variations. But if you think what is the neural circuits? So accordingly, when we are performing the meditations, so on the basis of the neural circuits, we can divide the entire meditations on the focus attention meditation. It is called, if you just think, if you just try to correlate this the yogic philosophy, Ashtangi, Patanjali, it's called the dharana. Focus attention means dharana. Open monitoring meditations called dhyana. So now we talk about the first, what is the focus attention meditations. In the focus attention meditation involved directly attention to the one specific object. Suppose we are doing mantra meditations. There's a lot of different type of this focus attention. Suppose we are giving the mantra Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. What that? We are just focusing on the breath. So that is the variety of the focus attention. Now we'll talk about the what circuits which are involved in the focus attention meditations. If you see, when we are focusing on the any one object, within a friction, suppose we'll talk about the new meditators, students. Within a friction of times, your mind start wandering. Yes? Yes or no? Within a friction of times, your mind start wandering. Then you are aware, oh, my mind is start wandering. Then you try to shift your mind on the focus. So, on the basis of these cognitive models of the focus attention, there are different phase. The focus phase. So, if you think the which part of the brain which are activated while you're performing the meditations. So, when your mind is wandering phase, that times the ventromedial prefrontal cortex is activated. Now, when you aware that your mind is wandering, that times you see the dorsal anterior cingulate cortex, anterior cortex is activated. Now you will try to shifting to this mind wandering. That times dorsal anterior prefrontal cortex is activated. So accordingly to your stage of mind, the different activations will show on the brain. Now, if you do continuous meditations, why we are most of the times, if we are do the meditations 1 or 2 days, there's no effects. So if you do the continuous meditations, so what happens? There is an activation of the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex. Suppose you are doing the focus attention meditation for 20 minutes for 8 weeks. What I am telling to you, if you do the focus attention meditation for 20 minutes, 8 weeks. So what happens? What is the result? So the activation of the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex and the deactivation of the ventromedial prefrontal cortex. As you know, in the earlier slide, this ventromedial prefrontal cortex having a strong connectivity with the amygdala body, and this amygdala body is the center of the emotions. So, if you are more strong connectivity with this amygdala body, with the ventromedial prefrontal cortex, what happens? You are more the emotional unstable person. And when these circuits, they are big because of the continuous doing the meditations, so that's activate the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex. Now, so there are different circuits are involved in the meditations, particular when you are in a wandering phase. So that times the special brain networks which are highly activated, that is called the default mode networks, which include the ventromedial prefrontal cortex, the posterior cingulate cortex, and this default mode networks is a very, very important. They are related with the amygdala body, autobiographical memories. So look here, if your mind is wandering, automatically what happens? The ventromedial prefrontal cortex, they are activated, their connections with the amygdala body. Now, when your attentive minds, when your focus mind, so that time the different circuits they are involved, which are the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex having a connection with the posterior parietal cortex. So this is called the frontoparietal circuits. So attentive minds activate the frontoparietal circuits, and now you see these pictures. These are the attentive when they are doing the works. So more activity of this particular dorsolateral prefrontal cortex. So the clinical aspect of this the default mode networks, here the study they show if you have an increased activity related with the this default mode networks, they're having a negative mental health outcome because of their connections with the amygdala body, with the prefrontal cortex, the ventromedial prefrontal cortex, and also all the kind of neurodegenerative disorders. So it is very, very important. You will start to practice with these meditations. Now the open monitoring meditations. It's just like a dhyan. Means let go attitudes. Just you have to be just keep the minds open, monitoring to do all the aspects of your experiences, thoughts, emotional body awareness. So the research studies show the whatever the neural circuits which are involved in the meditations, focus attentions, and where the circuits which involve in the dhyan, they are different. Like the example of open monitoring meditations, vipassana, sahaj dhyan, sahaj meditations, and The research will show the functional connectivity attention regulation regions are activated in the focus attention meditations, which are not activated on the this particular open monitoring meditations. And it shows the higher activity on the anterior cingulate cortex. So these are some pictures which are show. Now, what is the role of the autographic memory, which are created from the individual life best experiences, past mind, most of the time they are there. So where you performing the open monitoring meditation, so research studies show the open monitoring meditation having a ability to detach from the experiences such as autographical memory as compared to the focus attention meditations. So that is the very, very important research outcomes. So accordingly, we can plan for our meditations, either we are performing the focus attention meditations or the this open monitoring meditation. But the compassion meditations, when we are cultivate the joy, compassion, so all the negative structures, the emotions like the anger, headache, sadness, they will gradually, after the cultivation of that, if you cultivate that, all this negative mental outcome, they will gradually declare. Now, what happened there, research studies show that we have to, you can see there is one research experiment, the emotional processing task. So they can use the two techniques. The one is the focus attention meditations, and another is the loving kindness meditation. So they observe, the students, they do this focus attention, the students having a loving kindness meditation. So their observations, they show, if we will show that the pictures to the happy and the sad pictures. So what is the effects? So the studies show there's a lower emotional reactivity along with the focus attention meditations, the higher activity in the left insula. And there is a left, the loving kind meditation shows the increased activity in the left anterior cingulate cortex as compared to this particular meditations. Now, when we show the bad pictures, so what is the result? The focus attention meditation, it shows the stronger activity in the inferior superior frontal gyrus and the left caudate nucleus. So what is their meaning? Means when the persons they are doing loving kindness meditation, they have a more efficient voluntary regulation of the emotion as compared to the focus attention meditation. So that is the very, very important thing. So you can do this focus attention meditations, then you will see the effects. Now, why the regular practice of the meditation is important? Somebody tells that we have to do only 2 or 3 days of the meditations, but why the regular is important? Because the regular practice of the meditations, it improves the functional reorganization of the brain activity patterns and also basically the cognitive monitoring of the prefrontal cortex, the solar cortex, and that's referred to the neuroplasticity. Your structural, chemical, physiological changes on the brain by these meditations. So that is a very, very important. So lastly, the take-home message from my talks to the all the beloved audience and the participants. Though there are different channels to meditation, they have different neural circuits. So please choose the meditation according to your problems. And there are other important things. Please do regular meditations. Now, at least 20 minutes per day. Then after 8 weeks, you have to see the effects. Regular is very, very important. Now, the greeting from the yoga anatomy, I have particular because of the most of the Latin Americans students, they have a time zone problem. So they are requesting me to start the class for the Latin Americans because we are having a 7th batch for only for the beloved Latin American participants. There is will start. There's a limitation to 50 students, but my humble request to all of you, please join and learn. As the Sri Vyasaji's the chief yoga teachers from the Ashtanga Sri Lanka, they are talking about the different alignment, their measurement. If you want to learn the more details, which alignment, which muscles is shortness, suppose you're performing the muscles, Asana, suppose you're not able to perform the suppose you're performing the what problem is there, then you can understand which muscles imbalance, which muscle is short, which muscle is weak. We will discuss more details. So my humble request to all of you is join and It's my pleasure to Subhangi ji and all the organizers give me opportunity to share my view in the yoga. Thanks to all of you. Thank you. Shubhratri. Namaste.
Namaste, Dr. Mrityunjay. Thank you so much for your talk about the brain structure. Really enjoyed about the happy picture and the sad picture and the regulation of the neural circuit. That's very good aspects of the talk. And I'm sure many people noted many points that made very sense. And we really appreciate your expertise on this matter. So moving on forward, we're going to invite the next speaker is Dr. C.V. Jayanti, and she'll be talking about Dinacharya, which is the daily yogic routine. She is the founder of Manushi Yogic Research Foundation in coordination with the Yoga Alliance USA, and she's also a certified International Association of Yoga Therapists. She speaks on wide spectrum of themes such as fetus for natural birth and developing child intelligence, health and wellness lifestyle, and plant-based nutrition. She has involved in framing the curriculum and writing syllabus in various universities to enhance the spiritual wisdom and self-realization. In the early 2010, she opened a pregnancy training center at Annamalai University Medical College and a private counseling for prenatal practice in private primary health centers in and around Chidambaram, India. Dr. C.V. Jayanti has published over 50 books. A popular book is Reverse Diabetes, Change Your Gene. With that, I would like to welcome Dr. C.V. Jayanti.
Namaste, sir. Namaste. Thank you for the fine introduction. Thank you. Let us all adopt Chin Mudra and make your back straight, neck straight. Gently close your eyes. Gently bring your attention to the tip of your nose. Observe your breathing. Inhale deeply. Exhale slowly and continuously. As you inhale, feel energetic. As you exhale, that energy is spreading to each and every cell of your body. Have a beautiful smile in your face. A smile in your face takes you miles away. Inhale the joyous energy. Exhale, each and every cell is jumping out of joy. Inhale the joyous energy. Exhale, each and every cell is jumping out of joy. Inhale the calmness energy. Exhale, each and every cell is fully calm. Enjoy the divine deep silence within you. One minute silence for world peace. Adopt Namaskara Mudra, prayer, universal prayer for universal peace. Sarve bhavantu suginaha, sarve sandhu niramaya, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kachir dukha bhavi. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Gently rub your palms. Rub, 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 rub. Feel the warmness in your hands, in your palms. Give the palming to your eyes. Inhale deeply. Exhale slowly and continuously 3 times. Rub your face, neck and the parts where you feel. Good morning, good evening to everybody. Good evening. It gives immense pleasure to meet you all in this fine day. Now I will share my PPT. Is it seen? Are you able to see my PPT?
Yes, ma'am. We can
Okay,
see.
okay, sir. Thank you. So this was the prayer. May all be happy. May all be free from diseases. May all enjoy prosperity. May none suffer any misery. Om, peace, peace, peace. Adhyatmika, Adibhautika, Adidevika. Okay. So all of you gently keep your hands like this on your chest and say, I am healthy. Okay, so repeat it. Close your eyes and repeat. Okay, I am healthy, happy, and radiant. I appreciate and love my body. I love feeling fit and strong. I radiate good health. I am calm and at peace. I am a loving being. I am a loving being. I am a loving being. Thank you. Thank you for the kind cooperation. So, sir said about me. My name is Jayanti. Our institution name is Manushi. Manushi means administrative drugs within. This institution was conceived with the idea because we started yoga for the old people, young people. They were not listening like that. They were in their own spells. So we went right to the fetus. So I did my PhD in how to increase intelligence from fetus. Okay, so that was, and I am an International Vegetarian Union because we want to reverse diabetes, BP, obesity like that, how we have to reverse it. So that only I have written this book. Sir was saying about this, and see Bill Clinton, how he reversed the diabetes, and this is Dr. Dean Ornish. He published in Harvard Medical School how to reverse heart disease like that, and this is Indian government is conducting exam. For that, we have published this book. This is YCP, Yoga Certified Professionals, and this is for yoga teachers who has completed to become assistant professor like that. They have to appear for this UGC, University Grants Commission, and we have written the complete course material for this. And I am into this physician committee, responsible medicine. This is the purpose is how to reverse diabetes. There are 12,000 physicians working in it, and above all that, I am hailing from a town called Chidambaram. Chit means consciousness, Ambaram means Akash. Of all the 5 elements, Akash is the highest. Siddhagash and Akashic records, where you can access everything. Of the 5 elements, Akash is the highest. In this place, Patanjali, Tirumular, Vyakrapadar, Jaimini, all love to live here. Chidambarathirku sellada siddhargalum undo. Okay, so Patanjali contributed his Yoga Sutras. There is a temple, and they all awaited to see the dance of Lord Nataraja. Here, the temple itself is an embodiment of yoga. We speak about anatomy. The yogic anatomy is a very depth subject. We speak about nadis, chakras, kundalini, prana, upaprana, like that, many things. So the temple itself is, we breathe approximately per day 21,600 times. There are 21,600 golden tails packed with 72,000 nails. There are 72,000 nadis at our back. There are 9 gates. How he has to, okay, how we have to close that 9 gates. Okay, so that is what this temple. So we have 5 koshas like that, 5 prakaras, 3 bodies, gross body, subtle body, Sthula Sharira, Shushma Sharira, Karna Sharira, like that. So there are praharas like that, many things. God is in the form of form, formless, both form and formless like that. Okay, so this temple itself speaks about the yogic anatomy in a depth subject. Okay, okay, WHO says what is meant by health. Good health is a sense of well-being. Good health is a sense of well-being of physical, physiological, psychological, and emotional levels, social and spiritual levels. Physical, how we have to gain the endurance, stability, like that and all, okay? So stamina, everything. Physiological means how your inner organs in deep way, how each and everything is functioning. Psychological, what is the mental well-being and the emotional well-being and social and spiritual levels. In Ayurveda, we say Samadosha, Sama Agnisha, Samadhatu Malakriyaha, Prasanna, Atma, Indriya, Manaka, Swastha, Idya, Abhidyatye, says in Sushruta Samhita. That is a state of body and mind which provides foundation for vigor and strength. Okay, expressed in whole living based on the virtue, wealth, and enjoyment. So,
Gendima, I think the sound is not clear. Maybe if you can explain to us, because we are not able to hear any words. Maybe if you can explain.
So this boy was doing, this boy is multiple disabled. He is fully blind, partially hearing, autistic. Above all that, he was epileptic. So he was on the drugs. After 8 years, the drugs was no use for him because, you know, it was only steroids he happened to take like that. So after that, what they did, no? So the doctor said no, and he became hyperactive. So he doesn't know. So we all suggested we can do this, that, like that and all. So we tried him music, we tried many things like that. So which was not working. So this was the, at that time, this teacher, this Dr. Nadarajan was working in Annamalai University, and he trained this boy passionately and for 3 years. And he got the best creative child from APJ Abdul Kalam when he was president in 2005. Okay, so this boy was able to perform 300 asanas. This was very miracle for us, and his hyperactiveness reduced, and he was very fine. So we have a small special school here, guiding many students like that, which we work on voluntary basis. So we have a yoga for children with disabilities, and we are training many teachers like that. So this was our mark. So this boy was able to recite Patanjali Yoga Sutras also. Okay. So yoga is meant for the destruction of the impurities, thus enabling the practitioner to cultivate the highest intelligence. How to acquire the highest intelligence? Patanjali is called as a codifier of yoga, Patanjali Yoga Sutras. There are 4 padas: Patanjali, Samadhi Pada, Sadhana Pada, Vibhuti Pada, Kaivalya Pada. So you'll be thinking why Patanjali has kept the Samadhi Pada first. Samadhi means benefits or fruits of yoga. If I say, if you come to yoga, you have the many suffer, many things like that, you will not come, isn't it? So he's saying attracting everybody, like marketing, fruits and benefits of yoga. If you do yoga, you will get this, you will get that, like that he's saying. The next think what is there in Patanjali Yoga Sutras like that. You know, what is this picture? Brain, picture of the brain. So if you see, there are 196 gray matter, dura matter, gyres will say like that and all. So here, it is chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3. So here, if you see, means he has accommodated the 196 sutras. Patanjali is not a neurologist, but he is being interpreted by Tony Nadar. Okay, so Patanjali Yoga Sutras in his book of Human Physiology, Tony Nadar has interpreted like this. Okay, so how to examine a healthy individual? Okay, proper digestion of food followed by good appetite. Smooth, normal evacuation of urine and stools. So daily when we go for bathroom, we should be very thankful because there are millions of people spending on what dialysis like that and all. Proper sound sleep for easy natural awakening in the early morning with a sensation of freshness. Normal growth and development of body. Nice complexion, texture and texture of the body, and good immunity. That is today in COVID times, we are speaking about good immunity, etc. Absence of lethargy. Some people, even in the morning and they get up, they are fully tired, light and energetic, steady, active, and but balanced, calm, and quiet. So, Dinacharya. Dina means daily. Acharya means activity. How we are going to start the day with. How each and every day we have to start our daily regime. Nalulukam. Okay, so we have 3 types, Vada, Pitta and Kapha. So it is dominating 4 hours, 2 p.m. to 6 p.m., 6 a.m. to 10 a.m., 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. and repeating the same. Okay, so it is through the different daily activities we are continuing. Okay. Andathil ullathu pindathil. What is there in the microcosm is there in the macrocosm. Okay, so what happened in our universe? There are 5 elements: fire, air, ether, earth, water. Okay, so if you see how much water is there, like that in our body also water is there. How much water? 70%. Like what is nitrogen? Like that everything is there. So what happened? We started cutting trees. This is Amazon forest, resembling like what? Our lungs. We cut half the lungs. Now we are suffocating for oxygen. Okay, forests are the world's air conditioning systems, the lungs of the planet, and we are in the verge of switching it off. Okay, so that is why we have to balance with the environment. So what happened? We threw many plastics on the earth, and now infertility came for us also. Okay, so this is the ideology. So when we do yoga, we can surely restore the environment. Nallar oruvar ularel avar poruttu peyyadu peyyum malai. Even if one good man is there, because of him the rain will come. Okay, it is said in Tirukural. So that is what, if there are this much yogis, then there will be more and more rain, and our climate change will surely be changed, and we will not get these types of virus at all. So we first, pollution is there in our mind. This should go, then only the environmental pollution will go off. Okay. So this is a big subject. I don't know whether I will be able to explain. Sun cycle, moon cycle. There are two types of cycles. So what is happening? No? How we have to get up and how we have to sleep. This is my topic today. So in Ayurveda also it was explained the same. Okay. So in this we have solar and lunar phase. Early to bed and early to rise. This is our Taraka mantra, isn't it? Why it is said so? That is only we are going to discuss. And see, when you sleep in early days, only now with the Edison, Thomas Alva Edison discovered this light and everything. We are putting the light. We don't know which is light, which is day, which is night, like that also. And in the morning we are putting the curtains and then sleeping very nicely. Okay, which we should not do. Okay, in olden days we were switching off there was no lights and we had only little light and we all started sleeping. And what is happening nowadays? We are all sitting in the computer, mobile and everything, and many radiations are bombarded into our eyes. Okay, what is happening? So because of that, this melatonin secrete becomes very less. Okay. Next. So that assimilation, absorption, digestion, everything becomes imbalanced, and it prevents us to live our longevity, because a human should live for minimum 120 years. How many years? 120 years. But what sugar we have to take up to 90 years, we finished within 3 years. Okay, that is why now we are all getting diabetic like that and all. Now I want to explain this. This is called as circadian rhythms, biological organ clock theory, like that and all. Why this is so important? Why? Because see, we are supposed to get up morning 3 o'clock. Why this morning 3 o'clock? Morning 4 o'clock, like that. It is called as the Amrita Vela, Brahma Muhurta, Ushaka, like that and all. Okay, so this is the lungs timing. So the what is the lungs timing? Because the pranic energy is available plenty at that time only. It is the time only God, we are able to see the God. It is said like that. Okay. So this is the only time we are able to have much pranic energy inside our body. So the 3 to 5 o'clock. Okay, 3 to 5 o'clock. So there are million and million of alveoli which we can be activated. So at that time when we get up and we do meditation and some breathing exercise and some chanting. Okay, it is said in our philosophical literatures like Swara Yoga and everything, how to cleanse our inner body, chakras, nadis and all means after doing this pranayama, breathing is different, pranayama is different. Okay, after doing the pranayama, our nadis, how we have to cleanse it, like that and all we have said, and how the chakras can be cleansed. Okay, so this can be done at this time, and we can give that affirmations. If you are not good at mantras, you can give some good affirmations and then you can fix the goal of the day, like that. After that 5 o'clock, it is the large intestine movement time. So if you get up by 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock, you cannot feel the bowel movement. Okay, so that gives a constipation. Okay, this is how I identified, because many students, I was doing research on little kids. So that when I went there, no, that assistant, that school assistant, no, she said, what you're doing? I said, I'm collecting the reports, how much marks they get, like that. All these students will study, these students will not study. Like that she was saying. Why? Because the student got late in the morning, came to the school, they passed the toilet there, attended their natural call there, and they felt hungry. They again fed up with what they had, and they slept. Morning 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, they started sleeping. And when these children got for lunch, these children also got and ate the lunch and then started playing. While the other children wrote their homework and everything, these children didn't study. So I did a very long study, and now also I found these children were not, because they missed their alphabets there. It was very difficult. That is why getting up early is very, very important. Okay. And next it is a stomach time, spleen time, heart, small intestine, bladder, kidney, pericardium, triple burner, like that each and every time is there. So that is why when you should not be awakened by 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock, we should have our dinner, and there should be 3 hours of difference between our dinner and our sleep for having a healthy sleep. Why? Because we need healing power. We need healing power to our body, our cells to restore. For that purpose only we have to sleep. When you sleep have a deep sleep by 9 o'clock to 11 o'clock only, it will automatically, just you leave a car in a garage, like that your body will heal automatically. So this is very important. Okay. So our daily routine. So I suggest now, sir. So morning you are getting up from the bed. While getting up from the bed itself, you should be with enthusiasm. We have to get up, okay? And we should not jump. We should just lie down for a few minutes. Why? For 1 minute. Why? Because our heart and everything was very slow, okay? So immediately we should not rush or we should not go for the toilet. We have to slowly awaken and lie down in the supine, and then turn these 2 sides and slowly come to the sitting position at the end of the bed, and we have to sit and we have to just rub the palms and do the palming 3 times, and then after keeping the legs on the earth, we should thank. I am giving you only 1 kilo of some market items. I went to vegetable market. I am giving you potato and tomato, assume. Are you able to stand it for the full day? Even for 1 hour, we feel shoulder pain. See, our Bhumi Mata, our Earth Mother Earth is bearing us. So we should thank her, and we should attend the natural calls and brush our teeth. And at that time, we should be very, very positive. Very, very positive. Okay. And then only we have to recite the affirmations or the goal for be very silent or not anything at all. Silent, and do some breathing exercises, and then write our goals, and then we should have some movements for our body like that and all. Okay, this is very, very important. Okay, so we have to, how we have to eliminate the waste, how we have to clean our eyes, and massage also. Abhyanga we have to do along this area, and this like this, and Abhyanga is different, massage is different. Okay, daily with little oil we have to do the Abhyanga and take the bath. And we have to give foot massage also, weekly once like that. Okay, and sleep early. Okay. Why this dinacharya, or in modern terms we call as circadian rhythms or biorhythms or organ clock theory, is very important because of the Nobel Prize awarded in 2017 for these 3 people. Okay, they showed that the gene produces a protein that builds up in the cells overnight. The gene, so your genes cannot be excused. Okay, your genes can be on and off by yourself. Okay, that is in your hands. That is called as epigenetics. Okay, builds up in the cells overnight, then breaks down during the day. So I think so. This is a beautiful video. Are you able to hear the sound?
The sound is a little broken, ma'am.
Okay, okay.
Not too clear, the wording.
Yeah.
Wordings are there.
Gentima, the sound is not clear. Maybe you can explain the video instead.
Okay,
Of
okay.
Thank
So
you.
this thing is there. So.
In 1984,
These are the 3 American scientists.
controls the body clock.
They got the Nobel Prize for decoding how it works.
And Gentima, if you don't mind, because of the time limitation, can you be able to maybe explain to us your own word? Yeah.
Okay, so that melatonin deficiency will be there. So many people are taking alcohol, vitamin B12, caffeine, beta blockers, cigarette, frequent stress, antidepressants like that and all. Why? Because of the melatonin deficiency. That you have to close the eye, and that is called as blue eye like that and all. This only leads to many comorbidity diseases like diabetes, BP, obesity, heart problems, sleep disorders, thyroid, PCOD, PCOS like that. Everything is based on this only. Okay, Surya Namaskar for physical intelligence. Okay, we do sun salutation is the only sequence of battery of exercises stretching from your head to your left. It consists of asanas, pranayama, bandhas, mudras, and also mantras also. Okay. Asanas. What is the effect of asana? Effective removal of waste product, constant nourishment, increased morbidity, or toning up the nervous system. These are the principles of the asanas. Okay, so daily we are doing asanas. Why we have to do asanas? Okay, that first we have to understand. Okay, why? Because we have oxytocin, the love hormone. Because while we are doing asanas, we should not be doing like that and doing the asanas. I said no, like that you raise a hand, it will not work out. And you have to have a beautiful mood and love within, and you have to reward yourself. Then it is very important. Endorphin is released at the end of the asanas. Okay, so this is very, very important. Endorphin, so norepinephrine, because my research was in how that stress could be controlled. So that cortisol, adrenaline, these and all can be reduced by doing this asanas. Okay, so these are some of the asanas which many teachers show. So do you know him, Wim Hof? He was just, see how beautifully he is sitting in his eyes like that and all. First he was, his wife died and he was broken fully. And then he developed himself and he insists much on sectional breathing, abdominal, particularly abdominal breathing. Okay, inhale deeply. So there was a comparative study in abdominal breathing. See, any of the breathing you don't know, don't bother about it. Just inhale and do the abdominal breathing. It helps to reduce the obesity. Why reduce the obesity? Because if you do the night work and if you night shift, you go there, means you will eat only oily foods and you will become obese. Okay, this was also done in the research of the circadian rhythms. That is why this abdominal breathing alone is enough for reducing. This research was done in one of the major universities and published in the major journals. Okay, so this abdominal breathing was helping. They did comparative study between core strengthening exercise and abdominal breathing. Okay, next up, Nadi Shodhana helps to cleanse the nadis. And if you see in Hatha Yoga Pratipika, there is Surya Bedana breathing. It is written that worms will be killed. So in those days itself, they have written how the worms will be killed, because it was applied for one of my students' patient. He was a doctor, pulmonologist, and I didn't know at the time of this corona, before 4 or 5 years. At that time only we saw, and it after doing the Surya Bedana, it's certainly reduced. Okay, Brahmari Pranayama also very good. And yoga advises sattvic diet, whole food, plant-based nutrition. So if you are non-vegetarian also, please don't bother. It is said, Kallunna vendam thane kalitaram. Kallu means liquor. So it is said in our Thirumandiram, Pullinum Mikka Puraviye Merkondal Kallunna vendam thane kalitaram. That is, if you don't take alcohol, instead if you do the pranayama itself, it will liberate all the biochemicals in your body. Okay, so it is life or death. So every time when we want to choose, we have to choose only life. Then you have to choose only fresh foods. not preserved foods. So, Aham Vaishvanaro Bhutva Praninam Dega Machutaha. Okay, Om Brahmarpanam Brahma Havivi, it is said that food is God. Okay, food is divine. Eating is an art. It is not suffering. It is a great art to taste food, smell food, touch food, to chew food, to see food, to digest food, everything. Okay, so so who are doing meditation? How they are? What was the benefits like that? Many based on the yoga and epigenetics. Okay, epigenetics. So this Norman Cousin was suffering from ankylosing spondylitis. So he had a belly laughter, Hasya yoga. Okay, and he had an anesthetic effect, and he gave him 2 hours of pain-free sleep. Okay, next. Laughter is a powerful way to tap positive emotions. This Shin Trayama, he was a very good businessman, and he was a leading businessman, and he had a stage 4 kidney cancer like that. Okay, so what he did, doctor said, we cannot do anything for you. At that time only he came to know, he started doing meditation like that, and he revived. So he said, my purpose is to lead people to higher consciousness, that is to be wise and full of love. So if they can solve their problems simply by themselves, why can't you? Why are you waiting? Let us start. Okay, so to change your epigenetics. Okay, epigenetics, daily practice affirmation, asanas, positive thinking, good food, and above all that, be happy. Be happy, healthy, and peaceful living. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for the nice opportunity. With this short time, I can cover this only. Okay, thank you.
Thank you for your dinacharya, going into the details of when we should wake up, when we should eat. It's very, very important, especially nowadays with the height of diabetes, the heart disease and everything. Your points are very helpful and short and sweet. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Subhangi ma'am. Thank you, Mayra sir. Thank you. And thank you all the speakers and all the participants. 1 minute closing prayer I will do. Okay?
Yes, please.
Yogena sattasya padena vacha malam sarirasya cha vaityakena yopakarotam pravaram muninam padanjalim pranjaliranathosmi Om Shanti 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 Loga Samasta Shugino Bhavanto Loga Samasta Shugino Bhavanto Loga Samasta Shugino Bhavanto Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you for it. Thank you.
So we'll go on to the next speaker, Srimati Subhangi Siva, who will be talking about yoga and technology. So she needs no introduction, as you know. She is she's the main organizer of this event today. So I call upon Subhangi Siva to take the stage.
Thank you, Myron. On Spotlight perfectly. Hello, everyone. Again, I would like to begin with gratitude. I am so grateful to have all of your support. I'm so grateful I was able to teach and connect with so many wonderful people during this pandemic, and I was able to assist them during this stressful time the best possible way I can. Well, it would have been possible without the technology, right? All of you know that. I'm sure you all agree on that with me. So therefore, technology is not our enemy. And we all talk about technology, screen time and all that. Well, I know it sounds like I'm deriving a mathematical equation, but it's true. Without technology, this is not happening right now. So even though we are going through the challenging time, we can clearly see there's a massive transformation happening at this point. It's a rapid transformation on top of it, right? It's in a very short period of time, and it's changing everything globally, individual level, global level, and everything is transforming. My question is, how are like yoga teachers, yoga professionals, and also the students dealing with this transformation, right? So before I get into this, if you look at learning yoga traditionally, how it is taught, like once upon a time, very, very long time ago, many, many years ago, the yoga was taught in gurukulams. Students stay and live with guru for years to master and learn this ancient art. But then slowly this became obsolete. We sort of meet in the middle ground, like, you know, we go to yoga schools to learn, and we don't live with a guru anymore. We come home. And now the third scenario is we don't see the guru at all. There's no physical contact. Everything digital, everything online. There's no physical contact. We are totally in the other end of the spectrum right now, right? We are totally. So this, what it means to us, the teachers like me, I took my yoga training pre-corona time, and how to teach online was not part of our curriculum. There are a handful of yoga teachers I know, they refuse to teach online as they don't feel comfortable, and some tried and quit because they had Zoom burnout, because they said it's too much screen time and it drains them. But I always remember Rajuji telling me, and I attended many sessions, and one of this session he told me, the true connected yoga teacher should not have burnout. You will have an unlimited source of energy, right? And also what I think, and if you're truly passionate about what you do, and this is what you determine, this is what I want to do, I think there is no limit. You can overcome any barrier. So before pandemic, I was a full-time corporate accountant, and I was teaching yoga only part-time. During the pandemic, I became a full-time instructor. That's why I thought I really have to share this with you, that it really means a lot to me. I had this full-time yoga teaching experience online, and for the whole year now, a little bit over a year. So I thought maybe this will be useful for some teachers and students and whoever take online courses, or whoever don't want to take online courses. And I hope this will inspire you. So when I started, it was a bit challenging. It's not just all about having a Zoom account and then you do the yoga classes, right? And you have to have a proper camera setup, lighting setup, and make sure they see you properly, they hear you properly, and all the technology side of it. Thanks to my husband, he helped me a lot with that. And so this is my side. Once I set up in my end, then I had to think about how about the students. So they don't have, not everyone has the same facility. Some come from cell phone, tablet, laptop, some connect to the TV, all sort of devices, right? So I had to keep that in mind, and I had to make an extra effort and step to some of them. I have to assist them, especially the seniors. I have to go meet them in person, over the phone. Like, this is a personal tech assist that we have to do. It's like you're becoming more than a yoga teacher at this point. But we have to do it during this time. We are in it together. We have to do it. And it took a few months for me and my students to really overcome some of the struggles, and it was a learning curve, I should say. So then that's all done, and the environment. So setting up my environment, it's easy because it's under my control, that I can set up a nice cozy place and all is good and I'm ready to teach. Then, and also I can mute my participants. I can be in my Zen zone whenever I want, right? So I'm in a good place. But as a yoga teacher, I had to think about, the practice is not about me. It's not about how good I am in my own little beautiful space. And also I have to make sure it's reached to the student, the other end. So I have to be very mindful about their environment surrounding. Not everybody has the accessibility to have a nice private yoga spot to practice yoga. Some are in a small apartment, some have many kids, parents, seniors, so all sort of things going around in the house, right? So I have to be very mindful and slowly train them, and maybe set a time that it's suitable for them. So, because when it comes to in the traditional event, how we practice in yoga studios, the environment is under control. So they all come to the controlled environment. So it's easy for the teacher to cater proper yoga and create the whatever that we want to create at that moment. It's easier. So this is a little bit challenging to make sure that they're having this proper yoga experience, right? The other thing that I found is the safety matter. So in-person classes that you are there, so I can see the students in 3D, so I can walk around, see them. I can do the in-depth assessment, like, their breathing pattern, their emotional, subtle emotional and physical aspects. So you can all get that stuff. It's really hard. And also what's around them. So safety measures, that's also not under my control. So, and also some of the asanas, if they struggle, if you're in the yoga studio, there's props, you can assist them with blocks, straps, bolsters, and all sort of things. So, which is not possible. So I have to be a little creative sometimes. I encourage them to buy those props. Not everyone can. So we have to be a little creative. How can I replace, the idea to come up with a yoga block, maybe take a book, big book, blankets, pillows, towels, beach towels, so it becomes, it's sort of fun also, I should say. So the safety is my concern, but so that we took different measures. So whereas this online practice, as I said, it's not the same as in-person classes, I still want to make sure uncompromised safety practice is implemented in my online classes, right? So I'm always continuously asking them to speak up, share their comments, and also encourage them to set their camera properly and putting them on spotlight. And if I notice anything that I need to correct. So, and these are some of the stuff that I do. And now all these challenges that we have. So how did I overcome? How did I overcome? As I just said, so I asked them to come on the spotlight, setting up the camera. I think the most important thing is, as a yoga professional, yoga instructor, yoga teacher, first you have to be a compassionate person, being patient, and understand the importance of yoga during this time, right? Don't set a limit. I'm a yoga instructor. I only teach yoga. I'm sorry, you set your own camera. It's your problem. No, take that responsibility, take that ownership, and we are in a difficult time and they need yoga. If the technology is the barrier, walk the extra mile with them and help them, be there with them, and don't get discouraged. Don't, especially the seniors. I teach a lot of seniors, and so be patient with them and take that extra mile to help them out. And so become comfortable and embrace that change. I know this is the rapid, as I said, the rapid transformation is, everything is changing. Even for us, it's a lot of change. First, you have to embrace the change, and you have to have a higher vibration. If you are functioning in a low vibration, you won't be able to lift them up and give them hand and create that positive atmosphere for them. So take the change, take ownership, and be with that. So, and one good thing is about this online is because they're learning from online or from their home, the consistency of attendance is good. So this is, I took that to my advantage. So I can slowly teach them and I can see slowly the progress. So they come at least 3 times, 4 times a week that I see them. So which is great. So continually educate them. And also the most important thing is to educate them to know their limits, knowing their body, how to do certain asanas, because everybody has their different limits. So make sure, because you're not there, make sure they know their limits and respecting that limit, respecting and take ownership of their practice. Encourage them to ask questions and share their experience. And I know some are very shy and they're not, so encourage them continuously to share their experience. And use more precise verbal cues. When you're explaining yoga postures, and I have to be more verbal and noticing if there is anything is not falling correct, you have to be more precise with your verbal cues. And have an ongoing feedback and communication with them. So what I mean the ongoing, at the beginning, I remember sometime I call even one by one. I took my extra step to calling them and making sure they're comfortable, making sure is anything bothering. Maybe sometimes they're not comfortable in sharing in person in the class with everybody. So I called them and I make sure I told them I'm available anytime, 24 hours, and they can call me, ask me any questions. So they are always welcome to share any opinions with me. So what I'm trying to say is yoga during pandemic became more than yoga. I know we learn beautiful sutras, beautiful philosophy and all that. And this is the time to really show yourself as a true yogi at service. Again, I'm going to say Rajaji, and Rajaji always promotes service to people. And so this is what I practiced. I thought all that fancy knowledge is nice, but what is the use if you are not in service to others, right? So you had to put yoga into servicing others. So now this is my experience I shared, and let's see, and some of my students, because the whole 1 year, they had a beautiful journey with me, and it became yoga more than yoga. We had beautiful time with them. And let's see some of the students, and I made a little video with all of them. Thank you, ladies. And we're gonna see what they have to share about this COVID and yoga. And can you please play?
Welcome to all yoga enthusiasts. A little about myself. My name is Vemi. I'm a 73-year-old grandmother of 2 adoring grandsons. During the past 2.5 years, I've gone through dramatic life challenges and changes. My mom passed in 2018, December, and 6 months later, I lost my husband in June 2019. And 9 months later, COVID came into our houses uninvited and brought the whole world to its knees. Because of my faith in the Lord, I was able to be strong and to rise above my difficulties. Exactly a year ago, I started yoga classes with lots of questions and doubts. Feeling sorry for yourself and not in a state of right mind and thinking, yoga came to my rescue. I do it at my own pace and only what my body will allow. We have to realize our body's ability. Sleepless nights, anxiety, and breathing techniques came to my aid when confined to our houses. Many challenges kept us going. Discussions and tips helped me move forward. My advice, don't live in the past. Don't borrow trouble from tomorrow. Take each day at a time. Subhangi, thank you for your passion, and you are such a good teacher. You try to instill in us the passion you have as well. Thank you all.
Hi, everyone. First of all, I would like to thank you for giving me this opportunity. Greetings for all the participants and the viewers. I joined 1 year before with yoga with Subhangi. During this pandemic, the world is shut down. Almost everybody is in the stress. Still the situation continues. At the other side, there is a good thing also happened. That's for me is yoga, joining the yoga, practicing the yoga, learning the yoga. It's not only giving me the peaceful of mind, it makes my body better, flexible. Usually, I am a software engineer. I have a back pain issues all the time. But after practicing this yoga, it's a great relief. I feel healthy mentally and physically. Yoga is a great medicine. After feeling this one, I joined my daughter also with yoga along with Subhangi. I have a lot to talk about Subhangi, but I can say something. She's not just a yoga trainer. She's more than that. She's a well-wisher for all the people. She's every week she is initiating new activities, motivating the people who are eating healthy food, healthy habits, walking, doing the sun salutation. So she every week she created new groups. Like right now, I'm in the part of 4 groups: sun salutation group, sky is the limit walking group, as well as fasting eating group, eating healthy group. Like that, she is introducing a lot of health benefit groups for the people, not only creating the people, motivating the people, encouraging the people. Simply, I can say she's amazing, wonderful teacher I had ever. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Be healthy, mentally, physically, be happy. Thank you.
Hello everyone, this is Gauri from Australia. I'm just going to share my thoughts and the feelings about the yoga, doing yoga during this COVID time. See, I haven't done yoga before. I just started doing yoga last year during this COVID or pandemic lockdown. So, see, I never thought I can do yoga or this kind of a physical exercise sessions in the online. But I just heard about this session and I just joined the online session. And I couldn't even believe that the transformation myself and my colleagues having with these yoga sessions. It's only an year, but like when we were joining, is like we were like, oh, can we do this online, or can we see the instructor Subhangika properly, or can we can she correct herself? But it's everything. Like I got the answer for everything now. Yes, everything can be done. So that kind of a confidence I didn't have it before. Now, thanks to COVID, actually, we explored that option, and now we are enjoying that doing this in online. But doing online, it's like I would feel like more comfortable with this being a girl. It's sometimes when you do some asanas or something, you feel a bit uncomfortable and inconvenient when you do front of next to a couple of other people. Now it's like, oh, I'm in my own world. I'm just looking at the instructor and I'm doing it. So it is actually a very good one. Even like after this pandemic, I don't think I would go for these face-to-face classes, because I'm enjoying doing this in online. And more than that, doing like I don't need to tell about the benefits of doing the yoga, but during this COVID time, it really helped in a different way. Like, for example, we don't see people in the pandemic time, right? But this is like a good chance, and you look forward to see for the yoga class, because before the class and after class, we spend at least 15 minutes to chat about everything. And it is kind of a, like, we are social animal, right? We always look for people to talk and interact. So yes, this online session during this pandemic time really helped us to, share the, have fun and share the feelings and emotions and talk about and discuss. We had discussed so many things, like in the doing this online session, because we had nothing to do during this time. So, and the third thing is like, what I would say is like, we are very consistent with this class. Like, like if the face-to-face, we always look for some, get some, distraction, or like we find some excuses sometimes, not to go to the class. But here with this online, we just before a minute, we decide, no, there's a class, I can join, and you just going. You don't care about where you are, and you don't care about the traffic or the clothes or anything. You just wear the appropriate, like, flexible clothes, and you be there. And because you are on your world when you are doing the online classes. And yeah, it is like, see, as I said, like it brings like huge benefit to the people like me, because we are I know everyone, we are during this pandemic time. So it helps me a lot. Yes, thank you very much.
I'm Gayatri. I have been doing yoga for more than a year with Subhangi. I started during COVID lockdown time to entertain myself, but later I have been very happy to practice regularly. I love the online sessions as I can attend all the classes. I'm the regular student for Subhangi. No need to dress up or drive to classes. It saves a lot of time. I'm lucky to have a lovely instructor, Subhangi, and few new friends. They all are my motivators for not only my yoga practices, but also for my good food habits. These days, I'm thinking about my food for intermittent fasting, daily to post my food pictures to get good comments. After I joined Subhangi's group, I have a lovely time all for myself. It helps me feel satisfied. Thank you.
Good morning, all of you. My name is Indu. I want to share my wonderful yoga experience with all of you. I have been learning yoga for last 6 months from my amazing yoga guru, Miss Subhangi Siva. She is such a dedicated and a caring guru. Ever since I started learning from yoga, my entire life completely changed, physically and mentally. Not only the asanas, but also the pranayama and meditations are really helpful and relaxing through these devastating COVID-19 pandemic situations. The best part of all, I don't need to leave from home because the classes are online. I can do the yoga at home peacefully and relaxedly in my own comfort zone. At the same time, I can take care of my kids also. After starting to go to yoga class, I can handle very tough situations in positive way. Happy International Yoga Day. Thank you.
Namaskaram, everyone. It's an honor to be part of this virtual event in celebration of International Yoga Day. As all of us have been faced with uncertainties, the fear and the challenges that the global pandemic has brought, I have remained grateful for the blessings it has also brought into my life. For example, the increased time with my family, the opportunity to engage in more of my hobbies or spiritual practices, and the ability to practice yoga in the comfort of my own home. Yoga during the pandemic has been especially helpful for me because of the regular classes I have been able to attend. These classes have helped me to increase my flexibility and strength over time, as well as allow me to move my body, even being confined to the home. But more importantly, the practices have allowed me to be more aware of my breath and my internal connection, especially in dealing with the stress and anxieties that have been present all around us throughout the past year and a half. It has also given me an opportunity to be more disciplined at a time when it would be otherwise be too easy to stay in bed or find excuses not to move my body in a productive and healthier way. I am truly grateful to all those people who have not only taken time out of their busy schedule to teach this sacred, ancient art of yoga, but also the positive energy they have been sharing with so many of us so that we collectively rise above the difficulties and continue to live a healthy and a happy lifestyle. Thank you and hope you all have a happy International Day of Yoga. Namaskar.
Thank you. Thank you. So that was wonderful that we get to see some experience and sharing. So I hope this will motivate and encourage others to practice yoga as well. So don't be scared of online practicing and just continue. So the next, I'm going to introduce a special guest, the Joyful Yogis. They are differently abled Joyful Yogis. That's how I should introduce them. They are my students for 3 years, and let me tell you, I have learned so much from them. They're going to do a little chant. They're here with us today. They're going to do a little chant with that's again, I learned that first chant is from Rajuji's retreat. So they're going to chant with us today. And Mayuran, if you can put Dorothea's iPad and spotlight, and either Diane or JP. Diane or JP. I'm not sure which name is he in. You can put him because he's coming from his.
You guys know.
Yeah, yeah. They're from the residence, and I think JP is. And Diane, if you are hearing me, can you please let me know what name that you are in, so that I can put JP on spotlight?
Oh, that's what she's doing.
And Mayuran, can you find JP? Or Diane?
Oh, hold on.
Yes. Hi, JP.
Oh, JP.
Hi, JP. Hello. These are my wonderful, joyful yogis. I've been teaching them for 3 years. So Dorothea and Alicia, Javi, Fernando, Christy, and JP, are you all ready to chant? Do the Oh Great Spirit?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. You're going to sing loud and clear so everyone can hear.
JP is on mute.
Oh, JP, you have to unmute yourself. And JP, you're going to sing loud and clear, right? Just like we do in the class. Let's go.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh,
Great Spirit, earth and sky and sea, you are alive and all around me. Oh, Great Spirit, earth and sky and sea, you are inside and all around me.
And you guys thank you very much. And you guys want to do the river is flowing?
Yes, thank you, please.
Of course. Let's go. Let's start.